Hello and welcome back to Gotham Sounds coverage of NAB 2025 here in Las Vegas with Glenn Sanders of Zaxcom. Glenn, how are you?
I am very well, Nick.
Good.
Very well. Happy to be here at NAB and ready to talk about some new stuff.
All right, new stuff. Well, listen, first of all, I want to thank you for the chairs because this is the first one we've had an opportunity to sit with.
We got it just for you.
Oh, I wish I believed that. All right, well, listen, let's talk tech. What do we have? We've got a whole table of stuff back here.
We do. Well, you tell me, where should we start?
Well, why don't we start with the VTX because we talked about the VTX last year.
We can do that.
Okay, great.
At the show,
You can show
for
that
the
to
first time in
Tobias.
NAB, is what we call the VTX transmitter. Long story short, it's a VHF transmitter, and it transmits both FM modulation compatible with Comtex and other FM wireless, as well as with our VRX receiver, but we have now added digital modulation. So the same transmitter will transmit FM and digital, and we'll get into the digital modulation
Is that
shortly.
at the same time or that's separate?
Not at the same time.
I figured it'd be.
You have to pick.
Got to pick digital or analog.
You can't have it all.
I see.
Well, not today anyway.
Not today. Not yet.
Not today. No, but that's the VTX. It's good on sound cards. It's good in sound bags. Very low power transmitter. Also transmits ZaxNet on 2.4 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a very capable product to broadcast time code, broadcast audio. In fact, it can broadcast two separate channels of audio to a VRX and a
ERX.
ERX. Thank you.
Yes.
I was trying to say URX, but it wasn't coming out because it's not right.
Right.
It's just not right, kids.
So tell me, the VTX, right? I know it's almost available. We've got the pricing. It's $15.95. It'll be on our website soon.
That's right. Yeah, it's $15.95, and basically it's I think it's either I think it's just about to ship, or maybe we ship small quantities, but it's available basically now. It's just come out, and I think it's a pretty exciting transmitter. The exciting thing for us, really, though, is just the digital modulation in general. So if you own a VRX and bought it at any time, you can update it to digital modulation now, or at least within about a week or so, and you do it for free. No charge to do that. And if you have our VTX transmitter, you could switch over to digital modulation. Why is this a great thing? What we've done is we've come up with a new digital modulation just for VHF. Very narrow. It operates, when I say narrow modulation footprint. It's only 64 kilohertz wide, which is really good. And the modulation is basically dropout proof. Because it's VHF, it goes through people, it goes through walls, it goes through everything really well. And we have the advantage of having a digital, what we call dropout compensator. So if it does miss a little bit of data, it knows how to fill in for that. Also, what it does when it receives the digital modulation, it actually has a digital diversity inside where it has two different methods of decoding it. So for some reason it doesn't get it in one method, it should get it in the other. So this hall here is hundreds of thousands of square feet, and we've walked this whole hall with this and literally no dropouts.
And that's partly the wavelength of the VHF transmission, how clean it is down there, I imagine, and
It's
your
very
digital decoding, encoding, decoding.
Yes. It was a real challenge to make that work. No one else has digital modulation in VHF. And of course, it has to be within the 200, less than 200 kilohertz window the FCC provides. So at 64 kilohertz, we're ridiculously efficient in terms of spectrum. That also makes the signal a lot more reliable. The wider the signal, the more power you need to get it out there. So with a 50 or 100 milliwatt transmitter, it is really, really efficient. So using this on set, it's great because if you're a Comtech user, you could just add these. At some point, you could add our transmitter, go to digital mode, and in FM mode, these sound absolutely amazing. Not as good as digital, but pretty damn close.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of the VRX, and we really think that this is going to change the IFB industry. And like I said, the digital modulation will be available in a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everything is FCC approved. We like that.
That's important.
So
selling things legally is good and not getting them taken away.
Oh yeah, and it's a really solid pack, and we've sold quite a few of these. So
yeah,
all the people that bought them get the added benefit of the digital modulation without having to spend any money to do it.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of comments and questions already.
Uh-oh.
So we will get there. First off, thank you for the comments about the Blazer. It's very nice of you. And second of all, this is available for purchase on our website, so you can check this out there. Jabari Dean said, digital VTX with many exclamation points.
Okay.
John Paul
JP
said the same thing, digital VTX, only one exclamation point, but then said yes with many S's. Andres said that he heard there's a way to integrate transmission from inside the Nova 2. So talk about that.
Absolutely. We have been selling a board that goes inside the Nova 2 that takes the ZaxNet transmitter and converts it into a ZaxNet transmitter with UHF transmission. That too will get an update where from the Nova, you can be in FM mode or digital mode. And again, you're taking your sound bag and making it even smaller, even more power efficient. Where now, you got a 4 or 5 pound sound bag, 8 channels of receiver, IFB transmission, 16 channel recording, just absolutely ridiculous compared to, what you do with other gear that you have to wire up receivers and all kinds of boxes to make it work. It's one package, and it's a really fantastic thing for people. And of course, with the Nova, people are using them on sound carts and sound bags. We have mixing panels. We have all the good stuff for it. And I'll take this opportunity to reinforce the fact that the Diva 48 is coming.
Okay.
And we don't have it at this show for anyone that thought we would. We don't, but it will be showing sometime before the end of the year. So, for all those people that are looking for a new high-quality cart bag recorder, and that's going to have a lot of new goodies in it, technology, compatibility with everything we've ever done. And, best of all, it's got a total interface to our wireless system, which, of course, people love because of all the great things we've done in the past to develop it.
Absolutely. So one quick question for me, and then to riff off of what we were talking about, new recorders. The VTX upgrade, is it just the Nova 2, or will it work with Nova Original as well?
Well, in trying to make sure that our customers have good value on their Zaxcom investments, we were able to bring it to every Nova we ever made.
That's great. Okay, perfect.
So that board, the upgrade to the VHF transmitter is $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, people send the units into us, and we take, we do it. It's $1,000 plus, I believe, an hour of labor.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's $1,150 or something like that. Check out. I think the upgrade is on Gotham Sound's website.
Okay.
You can do that through your dealers, but we send it right back to the mothership, back to Jersey.
That's how we do it.
All right. So talking about new recorders. So Andre said, let's see, there are 2 questions here. So one, is it possible to check the ZMT battery life from the Nova 2? Is that a possibility to monitor battery life from the ZMTs on the Nova?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I think in each meter,
it should have it on there.
I think so.
All right. So Andres, if you're having trouble finding that, reach out to us. And wants to know in the Nova 3 recorder, or possibly Diva 48, if there's if you would consider 32-bit float recording, because he currently loves his 32-bit in the F8N Pro.
Well, I've been pretty clear on our position on 32-bit float. I mean, everything we do is 24-bit fixed point, and I'm not a fan of 32-bit float
Hmm.
because basically, while it feels good, it's not good because you're basically taking the responsibility of setting your levels correctly in the field and moving them to someone in post production that then has to do that work to make things match what's going on in a mix track. So it's really not a great thing from that perspective. And if you have distortion, whether it be mic distortion, whether it be overload or whatever it is on your recorder, recording it in 32-bit fixed point gives you a really good copy of distorted audio.
Mm.
So fixed point audio is 144 dB dynamic range. It can more than handle anything you're going to give to it. So 32-bit float, I've described it as training wheels for sound mixers that are starting out.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's not a good thing for certain things. In post production, it is wonderful. I just don't see any reason for us to really move to it because of all the advantages we give. And with our MAR file format, that's based on 24-bit fixed point. So if for some reason you have an issue with your recording media, you can use all of our recovery software, and you can use the fact that the recorder and the wireless can automatically close files.
Mm.
If we went to 32-bit fixed point, we'd have to throw all that away. So what you would lose, I think, is far more valuable than what you would gain. And again, I think it makes people feel good. I think other companies advertise it to the point where, it's like, hey, we've got 32-bit fixed point. This is a really good thing. Not so much.
Mm. Got it. Okay.
Now, that's my opinion. Other people will argue differently.
Okay.
But I think that all makes sense.
Well, that's why we're here and why we're asking the questions. All right. Ray wants to know, will the VTX come with any bag clips to clip onto a bag?
Will it? I'm sorry?
Will the VTX come with any clips to help clip it onto a bag?
No. I mean, the VTX fits nicely in bag pockets typically. I mean, people can do things, any way they want to in terms of mounting it. But, we just kind of sell it without that.
All right. And Henry says the dropout compensation in digital mode is super interesting.
Yes. I mean, that gives you something that you just cannot have in FM mode, because in FM mode, the receiver does not understand what a dropout is. It just sees either signal go so low that it drops out below the squelch, or maybe there's a reflection that causes an issue. So it doesn't understand what's noise and what's signal. A digital transmission does. So we look at the checksum and we're able to know if it is in fact a dropout or not. And if it's a dropout, we can say, okay, can we repair this dropout so that who's ever listening doesn't hear it? So it's a really, really great addition to our digital wireless, I would say.
All right. So Almanax wants to know, how sensitive is the digital signal to frequency pollution or interference from a separate signal on the same or adjacent frequencies? Meaning like...
Okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
We didn't talk about this yet.
Okay.
All of our VRX1s and other new receivers that we are putting out, and we'll talk about that in a second, these are all direct conversion. I don't believe anyone else in our industry uses direct conversion. Direct conversion is really a much, much better system than the older way to do it of basically what they call super heterodyne. In direct conversion, you go right from the frequency that you're trying to receive down to what we call baseband. And because of that, you eliminate one or two IF conversions, which are intermediate frequencies. With those conversions come distortion and the possibility to receive what we call image frequencies, which is what he's talking about, I think, partially. So with those image frequencies, you could have something that ends up on the image frequency, raising the noise floor on the frequency you're trying to listen to. And you can see that sometimes with wireless, multi-channel wireless, where when a transmitter overloads a receiver, you can see RF on other channels that you shouldn't. This eliminates that problem. So that's a wonderful thing. And IFs give you sensitivity to RF that are on those IF frequencies, which this eliminates. So this is a much cleaner way of doing things so that the only thing that is going to interfere with you
Mm-hmm.
is things that are on your frequency or are extremely close. And because it's direct conversion, our bandpass filter, we can tailor to be very, very tight
Mm.
with both hardware and software. So these receivers set a new standard over anything else, like the IF conversion things that some of are the wideband sampling things some of our competitors are doing, which have their own issues, as well as super heterodyne, which has always had issues. I'm not saying they don't work. Of course they work.
Yeah.
But direct conversion is a much better way to do it.
Okay. A ton of questions. So Axel said, I bought a VRX for my Comtech ecosystem and there's no coming back. They can't wait for the VTX. John Paul asked if the Nova internal transmitter will support digital. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ray said, what is the recording spec on the VTX? So this is the same as, this is basically.
Yeah, it's got a recorder in it.
Yeah, it's two channels,
yeah,
right?
it's like a camera link, but with different transmitter hardware for VHF that allows us to accommodate the digital modulation and the FM modulation.
Okay.
By the way, these are very good questions.
Yeah. And last one for right now, Blossom Flower says, hey, Glenn, can you explain the technical differences and benefits of digital VHF transmission over overlock? Maybe don't go too far into the difference. It's ones and zeros versus not. But will the range be less than analog transmission or not?
You would expect me to say yes, but I'm not.
Okay.
It's actually the same or better because it can, again, resist those interfering signals we talked about with direct conversion. It adds the dropout compensator, which is really good at hiding any minor dropouts. And again, the internal dual methods of demodulation gives us a new kind of diversity. I mean, this is a big hall, right? And we walk this whole hall on 50 milliwatts without dropouts. And also keep in mind, it's an IFB receiver.
Yep.
So if someone did have a little hit, it's, it's not desirable, but it's not the end of the world. And the best thing is, unlike FM, you are not going to have those big noise bursts when it receives something that it shouldn't, or the squelch just opens up randomly. With this, if it didn't come out of the transmitter, it is not coming out of the receiver. So the clients are going to be really freaking happy.
All right.
I say frickin'.
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 Frickin' frackin'. All right, let's move on to the next thing, and let's, we'll try to do this a little bit faster because that was a lot and great information.
Yeah,
and I want to get on to the rest of the stuff.
Well, this one's quick, and then we'll end up with something that we might have to talk a little bit more of.
Okay.
So this is our new handheld microphone. It's a refresh on our older Zaxcom ZMT-based handheld microphone. What we did with this is we changed the mechanical design a little bit and the electrical design as well. Preamp is super freaking quiet. Not that the old one was bad. We eliminated the lighted ring. We were not seeing that get a lot of traction in the industry. So we eliminated the lighted ring. What we did stick with is the Zaxcom internal recording, the ZaxNet remote control, and best of all, the internal antenna that doesn't care where you grab it, which is good. The signal does not get blocked, as well as the XLR connection. Because imagine, if you will, that if you have a situation where you're using a wireless mic and for some reason you can't use it because the venue won't allow it, there aren't any frequencies, or maybe security-wise they won't let it go, you could just wham an XLR into the back of it and it's going to transmit or not, depending upon what you need, and it's going to put out balanced audio just like any hardwired microphone. Yeah, and that's a very unique Zaxcom thing. The weight is good. The feel is great. Solid. It's got the display on the side through a little glass window. So we're very proud of this. And These guys should be shipping in about 4 weeks, I believe. We're in
Oh, wow.
production now. Uses any Shure screw-on head. You just want to make sure that the heads you use don't get RF interference in them. Some knockoff Chinese heads do, so you want to make sure to use a good head on it, good screw-on mic capsule. But yeah, this will be coming out soon, and we're very proud of it. It does use a big lithium battery. So we're going to go in and look at that. So there's our big lithium battery. So you get at least a 10-hour runtime on this.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so you're not going to have to change batteries in the middle of a show. And interestingly enough, the buttons to control it are carefully hidden alongside the
next to
XLR.
I see.
And they lock out as well. You can put them in lock mode, so talent's not going to be able to access them. So we think that's really good. And there's a little mute button / push to talk button that can be enabled. It's tough to see. Maybe you see a little difference in contrast on it. So yeah, I'm told by the experts, yes.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah, really proud of this guy, and I think this will be our last handheld because I don't see any reason to make a new one. I think it's pretty good.
All right. So a couple of questions, and Henry, we will get back to your digital conversion question. YJ says, does the handheld mic need to be powered to use the XLR? Does it need to be turned on?
It does need to be turned on because we have to actively take the mic output, which is single-ended, and balance it. And that is not a passive thing. That's an active thing.
And then Henry says, loves the XLR output in the handheld. And Simon says, normalize 18650 cells for audio gear with an exclamation point. And Miriam...
I agree with that generally.
And then Miriam just asked, what type of battery is that? It's an 18650 cell.
You know, I couldn't even have given you that information.
There we go.
I didn't remember.
Simon,
but that's what it is.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So moving on, talking about direct conversion. So the question that Henry had is the quality of the digital conversion, i.e. the VRX, good enough to use for broadcast quality camera hops?
Completely.
Okay. In the VHF one. That's amazing.
Well, with VHF, you know, like I said, it is a new modulation. So it's not going to be 100% like what our regular digital modulation is. Can you hear a difference? No, you can't. Yeah, because we do, you know, as we have to, we do data compression to fit it into that 64 kilohertz. But for everyone who has walked it, listened to it, you know, the answer is this sounds far better than any FM IFB that they've ever heard because it is better.
Yeah. And then the other, going back to a handheld question, what are the output power options on the handheld? And it does receive ZaxNet.
I'm sorry, what power options?
What are the transmitter output power options?
One more time.
The output power options on the handheld.
There are no output power
it's
options.
It's just how many milliwatts is it?
Oh, I'm sorry, that kind of power.
Yeah, that kind of power.
When you say power, I think DC power.
I'm like,
no. Okay. Basically, this is a 50 milliwatt transmitter, which frankly, it is an incredible radiator. Again, because it's basically, see, this is the engineer in me. It's like a dipole. That this half of it is one side of the dipole, and this half of it is the other side of the dipole. And it doesn't matter whether you grab it here or grab it here or grab it in the middle. It's not going to interfere with the signal. So it's a really, really good radiator.
Great. And it does, and to confirm, it does receive ZaxNet. It takes the ZaxNet
Absolutely.
control.
It's fully ZaxNet remote controllable, including timecode.
All right. So for the next one, I'm going to pull out this other portable interview rig for us to talk about. So
that's what you're going to be walking around with next year.
It might be. So the interesting part about this is not the iPhone. It's not the the very cool framework. It is the receiver mounted on the end.
Correct. What we have done, there it is right there. What we've done is we've built an all-new receiver. We've taken the direct conversion technology from the VRX1 and we've made a UHF receiver. So this is actually a replacement for the RX200, but it's much more. Very lightweight. It's smaller than an RX200. runs on 3 AA batteries. It is made to work with broadcast cameras, giving you a stereo balanced output for a broadcast camera, but it also gives you a timecode output. It gives you a headphone output, and it also has a USB-C connection as well. So you can take that USB-C connection, plug it into your iPhone with Blackmagic camera software, and you can actually, receive ZaxNet mono or stereo and record it on the camera. The other thing that this will do is it has a microphone input on the side, which is the same connector and wiring as our wireless transmission from our body packs on UHF, so that you're able to have a 48-volt phantom-powered microphone on your mini rig right here. So it'll mix that into the audio stream any way you want. So you can run 2 channels of audio of like a mono feed from wireless or a stereo wireless feed with a mix in from the microphone. So it's a digital mixer. It's got Never Clip in it. It's got a compressor in it. It's got a really quiet mic pre. So with this single box, you're able to really do very professional audio work using something like an iPhone camera recording package. So it's very small, lightweight. I'm going to take that from you.
Okay.
I thought you were having a problem.
No.
So very lightweight. You can mount it vertically, use right angle antennas. It's pretty versatile. It's for anyone that wants to know exactly how big it is. It's in the same case basically as our URX 100, URX 50. And there is a display on the top. This one's not powered up, but there's a display on the top so that you can set it up for whatever frequency or however you want it to operate. So we call it the DCIRX, which is direct conversion individual receiver. And we hope that it's going to really bridge the gap between people with Novas and professional wireless products into the world of iPhones, which of course are pretty much everywhere now. And we really wanted to make sure that sound mixers have the ability to really do their thing on those kinds of productions that use these cameras. And of course, this is great for reality shows, because if you're running around with a whole bunch of iPhones, and you do have sound mixers, you can utilize this. These also are 10 channels per receiver currently. We can change that. So a great new product available probably early to midsummer for this.
Great.
DCIRX.
And Glenn,
and price is not quite set yet.
What are so Matt wants to know, are there any external power inputs for this?
I believe we can get power in on the USB-C, but that would be it for the moment. So if you are going to power from USB-C, you would use a 12-volt to USB-C power adapter. If you don't have, if you don't have a 5-volt direct USB kind of thing.
Got it. And then the other question is, what would the battery only life be?
Battery only life?
Like, meaning if you just use the AA batteries?
Should be about 10, 11 hours.
With lithiums or with?
I'm sorry. I may be wrong about that.
We'll get back to you with.
Let's get back to me on that, because I might be thinking. Actually, I am wrong, because I'm thinking of the VRX1. I think this one might be closer to 6 or 7 hours.
Okay. All right.
At least it's not on the Talent, so you can change it.
Right. We will get back to you with that when we get closer to release. Glenn, goodness gracious. Oh, so there's no prices on the new handheld yet. So Blossom Flower wanted to know, because it's still coming soon.
Yeah, it's going to be in line with what it used to be. I'm sure it's going to be, somewhere around 2,000 low, or maybe slightly more than that. We have to see what's going to happen with all the pricing, because, this whole tariff situation. Not that we're going to get into that, but that obviously is going to change prices for everyone. Zaxcom, most of our things originate in the United States, so there shouldn't be a lot of change for us, if any. But we'll have to
sorted
Well,
out.
yeah, it's too early to really know, but we're hoping that any price increase that we would have to do would be minimal.
And then the handheld transmitter, and forgive me if you covered this, what's the frequency range of this?
That is a good question. 470
Hmm.
to 660.
Okay.
Yeah, all of our new transmitters are going to be 470
Hmm. Great. And up to 660.
up to 660.
Great.
So all the US frequencies are covered in there.
Great. And then Jabari said, not sure about the necessity of the iPhone interface, but really interesting. And you could throw that on an Arri Alexa Mini or similar camera and use it for a camera mic / hop. Very useful for dock work! Exclamation point.
Fair enough. We're still trying to figure out all the ways you can use it, by the way.
Yeah. And then Rick Lombardo said PTAP power for camera mounting option, question mark. I think we could convert that to USB if need be with cables.
There you go.
And then Blaine asked a very good question. Is the battery door on the same side as the URX, or has it moved to the same side as the buttons?
No, it's the same as, yeah.
It's right here. It's right on the back.
There you go.
Yep. So there we go. All right. That is all the questions we have. Glenn, do you have a closing statement in 30 seconds or less?
30 seconds or less. I am very happy to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you
And the
too.
crew, which you can't see because they're behind the camera. It's always great to have you guys here because I know that our message gets out in a really clearly defined, sensible way. And not to say other people don't do that, but it's, you guys have been doing this for years, and I give years, and it's always good to see you and do this here. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And
Thanks
we
to
appreciate
everyone.
you.
Thanks to everyone watching and for the great questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Glenn, thanks so much. Thank you for watching. As always, you can see this video and more on GothamSound.tv. You can subscribe to us on many, many different social media platforms. And as always, email us at info@gothamsound.com. And if you're considering renting or buying sound equipment, please consider Gotham Sound.